delivery in the civil service, the federal government has commenced weekly performance appraisal for workers in the Ministry of Works. These follow the directive of the head of the civil service of the Federation, Esther Jack, mandating all federal ministries, departments and agencies MDAs to consistently track performance of civil servants. Correspondent Kunojo completes the story.
The Performance Management System, PMS, the appraiser, which is expected to be carried out every Thursday, is the second pillar of the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025. It was designed to review, assess, and improve employees' performance across all ongoing tasks as well as projects within the ministries. At the launch of PMS in Abuja, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Works, Yakubu Adams, assured that the ministry will be among the first to provide feedbacks and quantify the performance of its workforce. He noted that the PMS is firmly established in the service and the ministry will not be left behind in its implementation, adding that the initiative will reinvigorate civil servants who are successfully spearheading the Renew Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the next level of development.
Marks an important step in our ministry's commitment in the implementation of FC 2021 to 2025 for the enhancement of performance, transparency, and accountability in governance for an improved service delivery. As you are aware, Thursday of every week has been designated as PMS Day, service-wide, where employee performance will be reviewed, assessed, and improved upon the ministry's ongoing tasks and projects.
The Permanent Secretary hinted that the ministry remains committed in implementing and institutionalizing PMS as a measure of appraisal for staff and enshrined in the revised public service rules. The Director of Human Resources Management, Aliyu Abdullahi, explained that the launch of PMS Day was intended to draw attention on the essence of performance assessment.
This initiative is designed to ensure that we remain aligned with our goals, monitor our progress, and address any challenges promptly, thereby ensuring an improved performance, with the overall objective of ensuring a new and reinvigorated civil service and civil servants.
Who is not productive, and then at the end of the day, when this figures up, we get like 2019 or so. The PMS is actually intended to address some of these issues. Whatever we are going to do now is going to be performance-based.
He disclosed that the performance assessment of civil servants will be done objectively as against the use of hitherto flawed and compromised annual performance evaluation report system. The event highlighted the importance of PMS towards enhancing performance in governance and improving service delivery. From Abuja, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
7 months after it began negotiations that ended with 70,000 naira as new minimum wage, the federal government on Thursday began payment of the new salary and its consequential adjustment to public servants across all levels of the federal civil service. This means that over 1.2 million civil servants on the payroll of the federal government will be paid the newly approved minimum wage in September. A warrant for this month's salary signed by the Accountant General of the Federation, Dr. Oluwatoyin, made in an address to the Budget Office of the Federation, directed the commencement of the new payment. This was as document obtained from the National Income Salaries and Wages Commission reviewed the amount civil servants under the Consolidated Public Service Salary Structure would earn per cadre. The amount was calculated per annum. According to the warrant, which contained a breakdown of all workers across various ministries, departments and agencies, armed forces, paramilitary, federal universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, a total of 1,236,824 workers are included. Now to other stories. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has granted bail to Isaac Bristol, identified by the police as the whistleblower behind PDM Nigeria account on X. Justice Emeka Nwite granted Bristol $5 million naira bail with one short in like Sam. Correspondent Kunle reports that Justice Nwite gave the ruling in response to a motion and notice submitted by DG Adenoju, who led Bristol's team of lawyers. The motion and notice is a formal request to the court to take a specific action or make a particular decision. In this case, Adenoju's team filed the motion and Justice Nwite delivered the ruling, which is a judicial decision made by a judge after considering the arguments and evidence presented. Nwite also ruled that the defendant must deposit his passport with the court. The court ruled that the surety must be resident in Abuja and opposed to an affidavit of means. The surety must also provide evidence of 3 years tax clearance with 2 passport-size photographs. Bristol, who has been remanded in Kuje Correctional Center since September 11, is standing trial for alleged treason and for mobilizing and soliciting support to unduly compel the government to act or abstain from setting out through end bad governance protest, false money laundering allegations against President Bola Tinubu, and unlawfully obtaining, retaining, and disseminating classified secret documents in contravention to the Official Secret Act 1962. Now to other stories. ActionAid Nigeria has called for the amendment of the Constitution of Election Tribunals at all levels. Country Director of ActionAid Nigeria, Andrew Mamedu, gave this indication at a one-day forum titled A Forum on Effective and Efficient Post-Election Justice Delivery in Nigeria, held in Abuja. The event, which brought together key stakeholders, including legal experts, policymakers, and civil society, to discuss post-election justice mechanisms and explore strategies to strengthen the judiciary roles in electoral matters. Mamedu advised the National Judicial Institute to include it in its curriculum, the training of judges and proper arbitration of ex parte orders and legal technicalities. He further charged the National Judicial Council to be more proactive in the discipline of judges who misuse their arbitration of ex parte order, adding that such judges should not be appointed to be part of election tribunal. Other speakers at the event urged the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to develop more detailed guidelines in using the 7 days window to review the declaration and return as provided in Section 65, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act and Clause 99 of the Regulation Act and Guidelines of the Conduct of Elections of 2022 to ensure transparency for the review process.
Consciousness on the statutory rules of the judiciary in dispensing elections. Like I said, an average Nigerian does not know the role of the judiciary. What does it even mean? Like, they probably would know about election, but they also need to know, and they need to also follow it. There was this campaign that happened post the last general election that's about following the judiciary, right? Eyes on the judiciary. Though it came out wrongly, but in a positive way. It's not a bad thing. People need to also follow the judiciary. If the judiciary knows that people are going to ask questions, people know what you're supposed to do and you're not doing.
The Constitution should be amended to the effect that election litigations for House of Reps, Senate, and governorship elections should be at 2 levels, ending at the Court of Appeal with 3-member panels at the lower court and 5-member panels at the Court of Appeal.
In the dissemination of our joint ideas, the Cliff Justice project of the ActionAid will achieve greater successes. I also take this opportunity to congratulate the ActionAid for the efforts to reach out to our esteemed representatives of the judicial institutions here present.
Now to other stories. The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Kashim Shettima, has commended the graduating cadet of the 71 regular course and postgraduate students of the Nigerian Defense Academy (NDA) for the dedication and readiness to serve the nation. The Vice President, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Defense, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kanna, gave the commendation during the 34th convocation ceremony of the 71 regular course and postgraduate students of the Nigerian Defense Academy held at NDA, Kaduna State. The Vice President commended the cadets for their perseverance, affirming that their commitment and discipline exemplifies the qualities that Nigeria needs in these challenging times, expressing that as future leaders of the armed forces, they stand as a symbol of hope, resilience and courage. On his part, Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, who also doubled as a chairman of the NDA Government Council, was represented by the Chief of Defense Staff (CDS) General Christopher Musa, who emphasized the importance of continuous training and education in the military.
I commend the cadets of the Nigerian Defense Academy for their hard work, discipline, and sacrifice in pursuing excellence in their education and training. Your commitment to service and your willingness to defend our nation at all costs are a testament to your courage and selflessness. As we celebrate the achievements of the Nigerian Defense Academy today, let us also reflect on the challenges that lie ahead.
The fourth convocation ceremony of the Nigerian Defense Academy constituted for the purpose of conferring bachelor's degrees on cadets of the 71st regular course, postgraduate diplomas, master's degrees, doctoral degrees, and honorary degrees of the Nigerian Defense Academy.
Today's convocation is not just a celebration of academic accomplishments. It is a testament to the resilience, hard work, and determination of these men and women. The journey to this point has been demanding, but each of you has risen to the challenges and emerged stronger. As we look around this hall, we see the faces of future leaders in the Nigerian Armed Forces, as well as scholars who will continue to push the frontiers of knowledge in various fields.
Still on security-related matters, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Ishola Olanrewaju, said those whose intention is to protest in October 1st have the right to do so, but must act strictly within the ambit of the law. The #1 police officer in Lagos State said this at the stakeholders meeting held at the Power Hall, Oduduwa, GRA, Lagos. Galaxy News correspondent Labi Joseph tells us more in this report.
The stakeholders meeting was convened to seek intervention of various opinions leaders in the state to advise the youth to shun ongoing agitation on the state of things in the country and give government more time to reposition the economy.
And it's necessary to build the whole Lagos community. But what we have done and what we are doing to make sure that October 1st is celebrated with fanfare and people will have a sense of nationhood. By and large, it's a democratic society. That same day, so people chose it rather to protest.
Stakeholders that speaking at the meeting charged government to listen to the voice of the protesters and do the needful, especially in the area of economy, which is in a crucial position. They all agreed that there's hunger in the land and the people are angry.
Times are hard. Nigerians are hard. They are very hungry. They are hungry. And life is becoming unbearable. Any kind of around. Those of us who are very close to the corridors of power, from this meeting, even let them understand and know that Nigerians are not happy.
While some of us will know the fact that those who are close to the corridors of power might not be telling them what they need to know, but we rely on you to please always tell them if things are going well, please inform them. If things are not going well, please also inform them. Because to some of us, I don't really think it would be nice to have this kind of behavior almost on a monthly basis. It simply means something
The State Commissioner of Police, however, said the protesters should not forget that Gani Fayemi Freedom Park at Ojota remains the only approved spot for such gathering, and the police shall be on ground to provide adequate security for them. From Lagos, this is Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. House of Representatives proposed bill to introduce independent candidacy in the Nigerian Constitution. Details of that are now coming after the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and the latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our Eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news 020 666 Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. And still on security, Ocean State Security Network Agency and Amotekun Corps has paraded a suspect for allegedly stealing motorcycles and killing of victims, including selling of their body parts. The suspect was paraded alongside others for various offences by the Corps Commandant Isaac Omoyele at the headquarters of the state security outfit in the state capital. The suspect confessed to journalists that he uses different ways to lure victims, mostly to uncompleted buildings, before carrying out this dastardly act, which he said he has done many times before his arrest. The Corps said efforts are in top gear to arrest one cleric in Ilorin, Kwara State, suspected of buying human parts from the arrested suspect. The Corps Commandant said all suspects will be thoroughly investigated and later transferred to the police force for further investigation and possible prosecution.
Confess to the killing of scores of Okada commercial motorcycle riders by hiring them to undeveloped sites under the pretense that he worked in the site. He confessed that after the killing of his victim, he used to sell the corpses or remains to an afar.
Assistant Controller General Saidu Haba Yusuf has unveiled plans for the comprehensive automation of the Nigeria Customs Service, transforming operations nationwide. During his visit to the Oyo Osun Command Headquarters, Haba Yusuf emphasized the importance of patriotic service, urging officers to conduct their duties with integrity. He said the strategic move aligns with the service's mission to maximize efficiency and promote trade competitiveness, and with the automation, NCS aims to enhance revenue collection, facilitate trade and secure borders. He said the visit also provides ample opportunity for direct engagement with men and officers, even as they seek to jack up their revenue projection for the year. That's despite the precarious economic outlook, with the aim of contributing effectively to national development. In his own remarks, Customs Area Controller for Oyo Ocean Command describes the zone as strategic, while harping on the need for its leadership to provide improved logistics and more training programs to drive professionalism.
Since his assumption of office, procedures that makes things work in customs administration internationally have been applied in Nigeria. So Nigerian Customs Service as it is at its best in terms of world best practice. So apart from those, we talk about simplification of custom procedures, we talk about the AEO programs he rolled out, we talk about advanced ruling. All these are trade facilitation tools which he launched and make sure that they must work, which I'm sure they are working. Now, Nigeria Customs Service is at the verge of automating virtually all our services, e-customs. Just on Monday, we had a program in the training college, all towards ensuring that all our services are automated. Even international organizations, they are coming in to train us. German Federal Office is involved in ensuring that automation, cargo examination, different types of training is being extended to us.
To build on the successes we have recorded, strengthen our operational strategies and seek our innovative solutions to overcome difficulties we face. As we move forward, the Oyo Area Command remain fully aligned with the strategic objectives of Nigeria Customs Service. We are dedicated to the upholding the highest standard of professionalism, transparency, and the efficiency as maintained by NC Act of 2023.
Now to election-related matters and to the story teased earlier. In the wake of Edo State gubernatorial election, the House of Representatives is proposing a bill to introduce independent candidacy in the Nigerian Constitution to allow individuals not affiliated with political parties to run for public offices. The bill, sponsored by House spokesperson Akin Rotimi, aims to expand democratic participation. It proposes amendments to Section 7 and Section 65 of the Constitution to enable eligible voters to contest election at various levels without party sponsorship, provided they gather verified signatures from at least 10% of registered voters in their constituencies. Rotimi highlighted that the bill seeks to broaden the democratic process, making it more inclusive. Ibijoke, Executive Director of Elect Us, supported the bill, stating it would democratize the political space and provide opportunities for marginalized groups, including women, youth, and persons with disabilities, to participate in the electoral process.
It's an opportunity to further democratize the space to allow for greater inclusion from those who otherwise might not have the opportunity to be sponsored through their political parties. At the end of the day, power resides with the people of Nigeria, and want to give people the opportunity to be able to present themselves for office.
Democratizing the space, for people like you and I to also, have access to, the electoral process as well, and to ensure that every Nigerian is also part of the process, to also ensure that most especially the vulnerable population such as women, youth.
And still on Edo State matters, the People's Democratic Party has again rejected the outcome of last Saturday's governorship election held in Edo State, describing the outcome as charade. Chieftains of the party, led by one of its national chairmanship candidates, Tehinde Utan, described the exercise as unacceptable and a violation of democracy, especially during a time of national crisis. Speaking to journalists in Abuja after the meeting, Utan emphasized the need for the PDP to challenge the status quo and advocate for Nigeria's progress against those who do not want the country's best interest at heart. He noted that accepting the outcome of the election would amount to giving a nod to legality, which, if not checked, will continue to be a usual occurrence in the country's future elections. Rutan stated that while the ruling APC has indirectly promoted PDP policies leading to public discontent over economic hardship, the PDP must now focus on internal unity and rebuilding.
It is an aberration. It's a political rape on our democracy. What happened in Edo State was not an election, but that goes to show the arrogance of the people in power, where they believe that they can write results. And look, if we allow this template to succeed, they will dare to try it for the rest of Nigeria. That is why we need to rebuild ourselves as a party and raise leaders who are strong enough to challenge the status quo. If we allow what happened in Edo to repeat in any other state in Nigeria,
meanwhile, those civil society organizations have shut the Situation Room with a commendation to the electoral umpire INEC, while also admitting vote buying by the leading political parties in the state. The coordinator general of the group, Omobude Ago, made this known while briefing journalists in what he described as the last press briefing before shutting down the Situation Room. According to him, the heavy downpour and the presence of security agents reduced voter turnout as vote buying took center stage.
It was recorded that the arrival of INEC officials and materials were early in most polling units, while it arrived late in a few other units. The downpour on that election day played a significant role in the arrival and late opening of polls. There was very minimal report of any trouble or difficulty with the beavers machines throughout the voting period. Maybe due to the consistent sensitization or because of the heavy pressure of a very well-prepared security troops that filled the state as at the election period, as promised by the Inspector General of Police.
He commended the governor-elect and his deputy while urging aggrieved candidates to seek redress at the court.
I want to use this medium to congratulate the governor and the deputy governor-elect, Senator Monday Okpebholo and Honorable Dennis Idahosa, for the victory at the poll. We want to enjoin all aggrieved parties to seek redress through all legal and constitutional means without resorting to self-help. With special thanks to all our supporters during this very tense and taxed Edo State governorship election, all leftists across the state and members of the press. This briefing brings us to the official shutting down of Edo Civil Society Organization 2024 Election Situation Room.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Let's go on a break. When we come back, the news continues. We are glad to have you back. Now, moving on with the rest of the stories, the International Police championing sustainable development and law enforcement. An international election observer has called for a review of electoral laws and guidelines to address issues observed during the recent Edo State governorship election. In its preliminary report presented in Abuja, the group recommended enhanced voter education and mass sensitization by the electoral body and political parties, as well as review of security strategies to prevent unnecessary tension and security concerns. Ambassador Blessing Akinlosoto, Africa Director of IPCSL and the head of the mission for the 2024 Edo State governorship election, urged INEC to maintain ongoing engagement with political parties and civil society organizations to strengthen democracy. He emphasized that candidates and political actors should use legal channels to address grievances to maintain social peace.
Need adequate legislation. 2. More intense voter education and mass sensitization by both electoral body and political party. 3. Review of security strategy to avoid creating avoidable tension and security scares. 4. We recommend that INEC continue to interact with political party and civil society organizations.
Now to other stories. Arawa Group is appealing to President Bola Tinubu to rejig his cabinet and ensure that only competent people with proven track records are allowed to serve the people. The group, who call themselves Tinubu Youth Network, urged President Bola Tinubu to open an investigation into former governor of Zamfara State, Bello Matawale, over his alleged involvement with bandits. Addressing a press conference in Kaduna, Yusuf Mohammed, a Secretary General Tinubu Youth Network, said the group was compelled to make a public appeal after several unsuccessful attempts to contact the leadership of the ruling party, the APC, regarding the allegations made by current Governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, against his predecessor and now Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale.
Matawale be removed from his position. An investigative panel be formed to investigate the allegation, and the State Minister for the Defense should clarify his connection with the dangerous individuals like Bello Tagoji. These are not abstract concerns. They represent actual, tangible violation of the rights of Zamfara State citizens. The right to education, healthcare, economic, security, and the life free from the constant threat of banditry and the violence.
The group says the allegations are weighty and coming from a sitting governor needs to be looked into, and strongly urge Bello Matawale to step down from his position and subject himself to a thorough investigation, adding that doing so was imperative to ensure accountability and maintaining the integrity of his person.
Regarding the allegation made by the current governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, against his predecessor and now Minister of State Defense. These issues include the occasion of sponsoring bandits and misappropriation of this state fund by his predecessor, and the junior defense minister, Bello Matawale. These are serious matters that strike at heart of the governance. Security and the welfare of people of Zamfara State should not be handled slightly.
Following the rising cost of living with the attendant hunger and poverty in the country, President Bola Tinubu has been urged to resuscitate activities of the Ministry of Humanitarian and Poverty Alleviation with the appointment of a competent minister for the ministry. Recall, the ministry has been dormant since the commencement of alleged corruption by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, which led to the suspension of Peter Edu and others. The coalition of concerned civil society organizations at a press conference in Abuja on Friday decried the hardship being experienced by the masses, thereby called for activation of activities of the ministry. The convener of the coalition, Comrade Aminu Abbas, while addressing journalists, stressed the importance of effective leadership in addressing the need of vulnerable groups, including people living with disabilities, senior citizens, and internally displaced persons, and victims of natural disasters and insecurity. Abbas emphasized that the appointment of a capable leader would enhance the ministry's ability to alleviate suffering and enable civil societies to focus on other pressing issues.
Keeping with our mandate of poverty alleviation, job creation, and youth empowerment, we are worried with the continued vacancy at the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation following the sack of Dr. Beta Idu for alleged corruption and fraud.
The National Commission for Persons with Disability has solicited the support of authorities of the Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC) for necessary attention for children with disabilities in Nigeria. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Ayuba Gufwan, made the appeal during an interface with the Executive Secretary of UBEC, Dr. Amid Boboyi, and other top officials of the Commission in Abuja. Correspondent Koleojo reports that Gufwan enumerated the various challenges that hinder the discovery of talents and special skills embedded in children with disabilities in Nigeria, adding that most of the children come from low-income backgrounds and have limited access to education.
Because it's generally believed that there's ability in disability, and that ability, only he who's carrying it has the power to show, to manifest to the whole world. And for our young children, boys and girls, the only way they can discover and express this is if they have the opportunity of going to school. So in the National Commission for Disabilities, we have realized this, and our desire is that every single Nigerian boy or girl must be given the opportunity of going to school.
Responding, the Executive Secretary of the Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC), Dr. Amid Boboyi, applauded the existing relationship that exists between both agencies and promised to sustain the cordiality. The Executive Secretary reiterated that UBEC is charged with the mandate to intervene and coordinate and monitor educational development in the state and local government levels, noting that contrary to some belief, UBEC does not have or build schools but offer assistance to out-of-school children from the federal government.
It's important for us to build synergy. It's important for us to build a synergy, isn't it? In a very serious manner. Last but not the least, I think it's another project that we have been doing, and I think it's one that we are very proud of. We need to move to the next level as far as education is concerned. We used to have the blackboards that people will go and do this, do that, and so on and so on. The world is changing. The smart boards are now being used. You have other tablets, you have other gadgetry, and so on and so forth.
Now, we move to the international desk for more news. This is news from the international scene. More than half of Argentina's 46 million people are now living in poverty, new figures indicate, in a blow to right-wing President Javier Milei's effort to turn around the country's beleaguered economy. The poverty figures for the first 6 months of this year was 52.9%, up from 41.7% in the second half of 2023, said the country's Index Statistics Agency. Since taking office in December, Milei has slashed subsidies for transport, fuel and energy and sacked thousands of civil servants as he seeks to bring down inflation and reduce government expenditure. Argentina's annual inflation rate in August remained one of the highest in the world at more than 230%. More than 30,000 people, mainly Syrians, have crossed into Syria from Lebanon in the past 72 hours, according to United Nations Refugee Agency (UNHCR). The escalating conflict between Israeli forces and Hezbollah has displaced more than 90,000 people since September 23. About 80% of these crossing over are Syrians and about 20% are Lebanese, said Gonzalo Vargas Llosa, the UNHCR representative in Syria. Lebanon is home to about 1.5 million Syrians who fled civil war in their country. Israel has dismissed global call for a ceasefire with Hezbollah and continues a bombing campaign that has killed more than 700 people in Lebanon since Monday. Yemen's Houthis rebel claimed they fired a ballistic missile towards southern Tel Aviv and launched a drone at the coastal city of Ashkelon. The Iran-allied group pledged on Friday to continue its attack on Israel until its aggression on Lebanon and Gaza stops after it emerged that its attempt to hit Tel Aviv had been foiled by air defenses. The Houthis have repeatedly fired at Israel and have carried out numerous attacks on Israeli-linked ships in the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden and the Bab al-Mandeb Strait since November in what they describe as a campaign of solidarity with Palestinians under Israeli attack in Gaza. Now, as the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah escalates, the Israeli strikes killing more than 700 people since Monday. The Houthis are also demanding that Israel halts its assault on Lebanon. Still on the international scene, at least 3,661 people have been killed in Haiti in the first half of this year amid the senseless gang violence that has engulfed the country, according to the United Nations. The UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR, said on Friday that the death toll between January and June, which included 100 children, showed the last year's high level of violence had been maintained. Haiti was already reeling from years of arrest as powerful armed groups, often with ties to the country's political and business leaders, vied for influence and control of territory. The situation worsened dramatically at the end of February when the gang launched attacks on prison and other state institutions across the capital, Port-au-Prince. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is due to be arraigned in a federal courthouse on Friday to face 5 counts of criminal offenses, including bribery, wire fraud, and soliciting illegal foreign campaign donations. Adams' arraignment, in which he will be formally informed of the charges and asked to enter a plea, will take place at noon local time before Magistrate Judge Catherine Parker. An indictment unveiled on Thursday alleges Adams sought and accepted illegal campaign funds and over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits from Turkish businessmen and an official seeking to gain its influence. Adams, 64, is a former police officer who was elected to lead the most populous U.S. city nearly 3 years ago on a promise to be tough on crime. The mayor has denied any wrongdoing and rejected growing calls for his resignation. Lastly, on the international scene, Donald Trump has said he will meet Volodymyr Zelensky after criticizing the Ukrainian president on the campaign trail and expressing doubt about Ukraine's ability to beat Russia. The announcement came just hours after U.S. President Joe Biden unveiled more than $80 billion in new military assistance for Kyiv, and after Vice President Kamala Harris, Trump's Democratic rival in November, met Zelensky and promised her unwavering support. Trump has questioned the scale of U.S. backing for Ukraine and at a campaign rally this week said the country should have made a deal with Russia when Moscow began its full-scale invasion in February 2022. And that's it from the international scene. Now we move to the entertainment desk for more news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Here are the stories on the news desk today.
Controversial influencer James Brown comes under fire for allegedly misleading Nigerians into believing he visited Bobrisky in Kirikiri prison. In an Instagram post on June 7, 2024, James Brown claimed he went to check on Bobrisky's well-being alongside photos of himself, his team and his deputy controller of corrections. However, the absence of any picture with Bobrisky raised eyebrows. Controversy erupted following the release of an audio clip by influencer Very Dark Man, in which Bobrisky allegedly confessed to serving his sentence outside the prison. However, a source claimed that James Brown's visit was not to see Bobrisky, but to make music with an imprisoned singer named Vindicate. The source allegedly that James Brown had visited Vindicate as part of a collaboration which included recording a song and shooting a video inside the prison with the permission of the Nigerian Corrections Service, NCOS, authorities in Abuja. The source further alleged that Bobrisky had only spent 3 weeks in Kirikiri prison before being discreetly relocated, casting doubt on James Brown's original claim. These revelations have fueled online speculation and criticism, with many questioning the true intent of James Brown's prison visit and accusing him of using the situation for publicity. James Brown has yet to respond to the growing accusation, and Bobrisky has remained silent on the issue. Social media is currently abuzz with reactions as Nigerians await clarification on the matter. Crossdresser Bobrisky remains unfazed, sparking excitement among fans with a new video amid a 50 million naira bribe investigation by the EFCC. This comes after Bobrisky sparked concern among fans by opening up about suicide thoughts and feelings of betrayal by friends. Amid the social frenzy, Bobrisky remains unfazed, releasing a new video. In the video shared on Instagram, Bobrisky showcases his poses with effortless charm. Bobrisky proudly showcases his physique, captioning it with a confident declaration. Despite ongoing controversies and Bobrisky's allegation, Bobrisky remains unfazed and refuses to be deterred. Meanwhile, Bobrisky sparks panic among fans with his cryptic social media post hinting at suicide amid ongoing Barbie allegation and controversies. Bobrisky revealed that he's experiencing suicide thoughts for the first time, citing the overwhelming pressure from ongoing controversies and bribery allegations. Bobrisky opened up about feeling betrayed by friends who sought his downfall, revealing that their actions have ultimately achieved the desired aim. Very Dark Man was given 24 hours to retract his statement. However, he maintained that nobody was defamed. Entertainment lawyer and sister to Falz, Folakemi Falana, has weighed in on the ongoing dispute between the rapper and social media personality Very Dark Man. In the early hours of September 27, 2004, Folakemi took Instagram and fired back at the social media personality over a series of defamatory statements of his that have now stirred controversies. In her post, Folakemi emphasized her family's commitment to justice and integrity amidst the accusation and controversies. Folakemi expressed her frustration with what she sees as a lack of critical thinking among some Nigerians. She concludes that as he has refused to do so, he would see him in court. Daniel has been celebrating a decade at the Afrobeat music via his video at 10 World Tour. Afrobeat sensation Kids Daniel continues to celebrate a decade of music excellence with the release of two highly anticipated singles, Mahaba and We Must. These new tracks are part of the ongoing festivals surrounding his Ved at 10 anniversary, commemorating 10 years of groundbreaking hits, global recognition, and unwavering fan support. Arabic word Maraba was translated to welcome, hello in English. It's one of the most widely used expressions in North Africa and the Middle East. It deeply resonated with Kiss Daniel during his short but memorable time there and served as a major influence in the creation of the song.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Riz Blossom. Bye for now.
Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with thoughts on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page as Galaxy TV. You can also avail our Eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. And that's all we have for you. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Iribami Salako. Do have a great weekend.